Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. We're here today with the Empire. They're going to be taking on the Tomb Kings, so let's get straight to it. We've got Boris leading the way here. This replay, I should say, submitted by Rigson. Got Flagellants out on the flanks, some Halberdiers in kind of a center position, as well as the Sigmar Sons. So some unbreakable troops, some anti-large AP. We've got some crossbowmen, more Halberdiers in the back, silver bullets, and a great cannon, as well as a hammer of witches. The caster, I believe, is a light wizard, and some Empire Knights hidden in the woods as well. For the Tomb Kings, we've got Chosen of the Gods, Beauchabty here, Cetra the Imperishable up on his construct here, Skeleton Warriors in the front line. We've also got plenty of Skeleton Archers as well. Looks like Tomb Guard in the second line, along with some Skeleton Spears and a Necrotect. So yeah, right off the bat, you can see Boris going after some of these Skeleton Horseman Archers who were out deployed on this flank as well. And the cannon's going to be focusing on these Beauchabty here. Chosen of the Gods, of course, going to get torn up pretty bad by cannons. Cannons actually aren't amazing at shooting at monstrous infantry. Just because of the way the units are spaced out, they tend to miss quite a bit. So you can see the Chosen are able to get in here and start returning fire. But yeah, a couple good shots there. Couple clean misses, but looks like the Carrion are going to sweep down and try and take out those cannons. They do have pretty good melee defense, so they're going to be tough to take down in melee. 40 melee defense, but yeah, of course, the overwatch from the guns and the crossbows will take care of them very quickly. Looks like they're probably not going to be able to rout off the Hammer of Witches there. Ooh, absolutely brutal. You can see the Halberdiers in here defending as well. The Empire Knights are just going to overkill a charge here, so yeah, needless to say, they are done for. Cetra now charging in the front line, taking a huge chunk out of those Sigmar Sons. You can see the rest of the Tomb King's forces kind of coming forward as he's acting as a bit of a line breaker. Looks like Boris charged down to these Skeleton Horseman Archers, but some Necropolis Knights with Halberds also being buffed up with Joff's Incantation of Curse Blades. Now, it's not the Overcast version, so they're not getting an additional bonus versus large, but still will give them extra weapon damage. Cetra's going to come in here as well. Boris is all of a sudden in a really, really bad situation. The Halberds are going to come try and support here. Looks like he's going to try and screen out there. Empire Knights coming through. Looks like these handgunners are a little bit exposed, so yeah, the Skeleton pushing through heavily to the second line. But looks like the Sigmar Sons are able to hold out on the flanks. The Flagellants doing very well. These Flagellants are actually not engaged in melee, just getting shot in the face, which is pretty painful for them. But yeah, we'll see. So far, so good. Boris is up in the air. Looks like the Necropolis Knights are starting to take a little bit of Overwatch fire from those guns. Let's see if they can get through. Empire Knights obviously don't want to sit and fight the Necropolis Knights. They are going to pull away here. But unfortunately, the Empire is going to have a hard time defending all these ranged units. You can see the handgunners pouring in fire to Cetra, though. That's got to hurt. Boris is also charged down. A net here on Cetra as well from the Light Wizard, so all of a sudden he is in a huge amount of trouble. Very nice play by that Light Wizard there. The Empire Knights actually blocking up the Necropolis Knights briefly from getting to the handgunners, allowing them to fire for just a moment there. These other handgunners, unfortunately, just got mass fired by the Skeleton Archers there, so really good counterfire from the Tomb Kings. Not quite going to be enough to save Cetra, though. You can see the physical resistance has been popped. Obviously, the silver bullets with their magic damage will circumvent that, but it looks like they are getting routed off by the counterfire as well. Despite the cannons, early success, they have also been counterfired by the Archers, and the Chosen of the Gods should be relatively safe now to just kind of fire through. We'll see. This other cannon crew did come back from rout. Meanwhile, on the far side, Flagellants still fighting quite nicely. Halberdiers holding out against Tomb Guard. That's not going to be super cost-effective for them, but they'll do okay. Boris is still plenty healthy, though, and it does look like we've got the Summon Beauchabty being used here pretty early on in the battle, all things considered, but the Tomb Kings are making a pretty good push right now. Bounce power definitely not looking good for the Empire. A lot of these units in the backline routing off. A lot of these expensive ranged units especially have taken a lot of damage, but we do have some Empire Knights regrouping. There's still some Flagellants left as well. Still plenty of Empire infantry and these crossbows, and of course Boris just about to finish off Cetra here. If the Tomb Kings lose out on their leadership, obviously that's going to be a big problem, but oh man, it looks like the Necropolis Knights were actually the ones netted there. That is going to allow Boris to just quickly get away, take a nice little chunk out of those Archers there. And yeah, Empire Knights charging through. Looks like they're going to just go after Cetra, even with, they don't have anti-large, they don't necessarily have good AP, but even just with their charge bonus and with just little whittling attacks, they might be able to finish him off here. He is down under 1,000 HP. You can see they get a couple little attacks there for about 20 damage each. Not too bad. Boris is also going to swoop over with the Empire Knights, and this should be the end of Cetra here. Yeah, Mr. the Imperishable unfortunately has reached his expiration date, so he is going to fall over here. And with his loss, obviously the Tomb Kings are going to be suffering. We'll see. Necropolis Knights are going to come try and bail him out. Unfortunately, not quite here in time, but they do a ton of damage to those Empire Knights, and they're probably going to beat them down. So a bit of give and take. The balance power, even with the loss of Cetra, is still in the Tomb King's favor somewhat. We do still have a lot of ranged units, and these Halberdiers are going to be holding the line quite nicely here. Oh, man. I love Halberdiers. I don't use them a whole lot. Thematically, though, and aesthetically, they're probably my favorite variant of Empire State Troop. Absolutely beautiful. They're holding off the skeletons wonderfully there. Meanwhile, if we take an overarching look, you can see the Light Wizard getting in the Tomb Guard and Skeleton Archers here. He's going to have to be careful. The Tomb Guard actually will beat down the Light Wizard pretty effectively. Boris is going after various armored units. Really, he's the only armor-piercing left. I mean, there are still some guns. They're not a whole lot left, though. They're going to have a tough time. But Boris himself obviously does heavy AP, so he's going to have to focus himself on taking down these Necropolis Knights. Obviously, they have anti-large AP plus poison, so it's going to be a bit of a tricky situation, certainly. We'll see how Boris is able to take these guys down. Anyone's game at this point. But yeah, there's a lot of Tomb Guard here left to deal with as well, and there's not too much that can deal with them super effectively, but beyond like kiting and shooting them a ton with the crossbows. Tomb Guard do only have 50 armor, so you know, they're not going to be amazing. Probably would have actually been better to just brace and take that charge, but oh man, these Halberdiers are about to get surrounded by Tomb Guard. That's going to be a really, really bad situation. Crossbows are pouring in fire to the Skeleton Archers there, leaving these Halberdiers just get absolutely ransacked. Looks like, yeah, Boris maybe was going to come support here, but instead going after those Necropolis Knights. Again, he's the only one with AP in melee, so the guns are still holding out for some time. Yeah, they probably need to start trying to focus on these Necropolis Knights as well. But you can see the Necrotech getting ganged up on by some unbreakable troops here. We do still have some Halberdiers fighting as well. Some very, very tattered skeletons. Surprised they're not crumbling out. It looks like they are crumbling, actually, very slowly. Same thing with the Chosen of the Gods. They've got about 80 HP, a few seconds left of firing. But yeah, Boris comes down, clubs a few of those Necropolis Knights, just swiping each and every one down individually. Yeah, they have taken some good HP damage, so he can start to finish off some unit models here now, which is going to be very key, obviously. Over here, no surprises. Those Halberdiers got absolutely wrecked, but the crossbowmen are still here, so they can support a little bit. These crossbowmen are now out of ammunition, so they're going to be coming in to support in melee. And yeah, still a very, very close game. These guns honestly should probably fire at the Necropolis Knights. I get wanting to fire at the Necrotech, but yeah, these Necropolis Knights are the biggest danger at this point. Some point-blank fire here, and you can see they draw their swords in preparation as the Necropolis Knights come in. Boris tries to get a rear charge, but that is immediately just going to shatter both of those guns. And Boris is able to get a few attacks. Really good kills, though, on those Necropolis Knights. 95 kills, up to 3 XP chevrons. Boris is going to have to be careful. I mean, if he can stay cycle charging, he should be able to win this, but yeah, just based on leadership, if he can get the Necropolis Knights to crumble away, there is still this Necrotech left, but as long as Boris doesn't get taken out. That being said, he is taking a lot of damage here, and he's also at his healing cap. It's anyone's guess. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like, again, the leadership is just in favor of the Empire at this point. Tomb Guard rushing in as well as crossbowmen, so support on both sides. And Boris is getting staggered a little bit here. Oof, looks like he just slapped that one around a little bit. But yeah, is Boris going to try and get back up in the air here? That's honestly a smart idea. Try and get back up in the air and take advantage of that charge bonus again, because of course Boris does have a 70 charge bonus on the Griffin. Very impressive. So crossbowmen pouring in a few shots here as well. Those tattered few that remain, I should say. But yeah, here comes Boris, final charge here. Going to finish off some Necropolis Knights. And the Halberdiers also rushing in at this point, so pretty much it's just these Tomb Guard left, and that should be it. You can see the balance power, despite everything, still very even. Probably this Necrotech is holding a lot of that balance power together, but yeah, it's pretty much just these tattered Tomb Guard and the Necrotech. The Necropolis Knights are pretty much done for. Yep, there goes the last one now, so at this point it's pretty clearly going to be an Empire victory. Not really sure why the balance power doesn't agree, probably because there's so many Tomb Guard left, but yeah, Boris, you know, he could tank this out probably by himself. And especially if he takes out the Necrotech, that's going to do obviously a lot of damage to the balance power, probably lead to more leadership issues as well. So yeah, This is exactly the right move, and we'll just watch as this Necrotech tries to tame the beast. This is kind of funny, watch him whipping this giant griffin. Necrotechs actually do okay damage. They have anti-infantry, but yeah, not against Boris on a griffin, certainly. You can see the Tomb King's infantry does kind of win out a little bit here, though, but one more cycle charge from Boris should be enough to finish things off. And that Necrotect is crumbling down to about 400 HP. One more good swipe could probably finish him. And that's it. You can see the balance power has turned, and that is going to be game. So, very well played to both players. Big thanks to Rigson for posting that one. And a very, very close game at the end of the day. Oh man, there's this rogue unit of skeleton spears that everyone forgot about, including myself. That's pretty unfortunate for the Tomb King's player. But, yeah. Just a matter of time before they get finished off here. And there it is. So yeah, very well played to Rigson and Montkaz. It was a super, super fun game to watch. Certainly nice to see two high-level players go at it, and you know, both taking pretty decent builds. I tend to not use Flagellants or Halberdiers too much myself as an Empire player, so it's nice to see, you know, other people making use of those units. Crossbowmen as well. Just a nice kind of mixed combined arms Empire army, which is really where they shine the most. Same thing with the Tomb Kings, a nice mixed Tomb Kings army, nice and well balanced. The Necropolis Knights especially, 100 kills, up to 3 XP chevrons, just absolute MVPs there. I really, really like them in this matchup. You tend not to see them too much, but 1 or 2 units can really help you take down Empire Cav. You know, it can be a bit risky against like demis and stuff, but generally there's good targets for them to go after in this matchup, so I definitely recommend. As for the rest of the build, Chosen of the Gods, despite the early damage they took, did actually do quite a bit. Obviously the Tomb Guard as well. They'll cut through state troops. They have a great missile block chance. Just super good in this matchup overall. Yeah, very, very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know I sure did. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.